And you are live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all, going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody's going to spend any time at all watching and replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Sometimes it goes a little bit longer, so we'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away. Throw it in the chat box. I check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if anything gets put in there, I check on it. And as soon as I see it, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. The top link in the description box below takes you to my membership page. All right, I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them and everything. There's loyalty badges, okay? There's 8 different loyalty badges. Each loyalty badge is a different Giants helmet. Now, the older the Giants helmet is, okay, the helmet and the design of the helmet, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get the leather helmet associated with your name, that means you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. There's also 4 emojis. Eventually, there'll be a 5th emoji come out, but right now there's 4. And I had them made on Fiverr. They crack me up every time I look at them. You can use them in the chat box or if you're making a comment, right? So, as I said, right now there's 4. There'll be a 5th one coming out. But anybody wants to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. And then if you're not subscribed to my channel, today I just went over the 6,000 subscriber mark. Today I started, what did I start with? 5970. So right now I'm at 6010. So I've already gone up 40 subscribers today. Absolutely fantastic. I'll tell you what, I've been very, very surprised. Ever since the season's been over with, I'm going up like about 30 subscribers or so. Today I've gone up already 40. And there's still quite a few hours left in the day. So I could be well over 40 subscribers for the day. And it was a couple of weeks ago, I was at 5,000, maybe 2.5, whatever weeks ago. So I was at like 5,000 subscribers. I just went to. And I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd actually have 5,000 subscribers for. Right now I'm up to 6,010 and counting. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button below and the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. So what do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, if you're one of those 6,010, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. And then finally, also in the description box below, okay, there's 2 Facebook links. Okay, the top one takes you to my group. Okay, it's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. All right. Right now we just gone over 2,400 members. Actually, the past bunch of days we had 2,300 members. So now we're at over 2,400 members and counting. I try to put at least 10 different things in here every day, whether it's this one here, which is something I'm going to be talking about. I just posted this recently. Jordan Renan, Giants quarterback Daniel Jones is in the process of making an agent change with his new contract and free agency on the horizon per sources. So I'm going to be talking about that briefly. And, I got all kinds of stuff going in here. But the nice thing about if you join the group, if you become a member, it's not only do I post stuff in here every day, but members post stuff in here as well, too. So there's a ton of Giant stuff. I try to put at least 10 different things in here every day, whether it's something like this from Jordan Renan, whether it's a picture, whether it's something making fun of the Cowboys, something making fun of the Eagles, could be a video, could be something, a picture with some stats on it from somebody, or anything, wishing somebody a happy birthday, like, the hefty lefty, right? He was Lorenzen, I think it would have been 42 a couple days ago. There was a picture of him in there wishing him a happy pass. Sadly, he passed away. but I got stuff going in there every day. It's a 7-day-a-week job. It's not really a job because if you like or love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life. So I mean, it's not a job, but it is time consuming now. And then there's another link, okay, in the description box below. There's another Facebook link, okay, which takes you to my Facebook page, okay, which is called also it's the same thing, New York Giants to Gridiron. My YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and my Facebook page, all the same thing. It's called the New York Giants to Gridiron. Basically, so an idiot like me, I can't forget it, all right? So I just named everything the same. Right now we have 636 people who like the page and 2,900. There's over 2,900 people following the page right now. Very, very close. Every few days, I'm going up like another 100 followers. So pretty soon, within the next couple of days, I'm figuring I should be at around 3,000 followers. And it's the same thing as with the group. I try to put like about 10 different items in here every day. It says the same thing, whether it's the post. I got a video here of the fans flipping a car in a pregame tailgate party on the streets of Philadelphia. It's before the game started, right? I mean, what a bunch of pack of losers those fans are. A stat here showing some potential cap casualties for the Giants. Could be a video. Oh, here it is. Here's the post from the hefty lefty who would have been 42. It would have been a couple days ago. Lorenzo, number 30. He was a lefty, and he was hefty. Okay, but wishing him a happy heavenly birthday, 42nd. Right. There's also a post in here. I copied something from Patricia Traina. She's locked on Giants. She does a very, very good job. She dumbs it down for people like me, makes it very plain and simple that anybody can understand. There's a poster of hers in here. There's something I got from Joey Porter Jr. He's a cornerback coming out from Penn State. He's supposed to be a really good cornerback. He might possibly be there for number 25 for the Giants, somebody to keep an eye on. I mean, if we got Adoree Jackson on one side and Joey Porter on the other, we got ourselves two good cornerbacks. Let me tell you what, all we have to do is make sure we re-sign Adoree Jackson. Hopefully, because we only got him for 3 years. This will be the third year. So hopefully we can re-sign him because he's still young, right? But with Joey Porter, how his father was a mean, not a mean, but he brought it, right? He had an attitude, right? When he was playing, especially with the Steelers, he had an attitude. His son's the same way, okay? So, you want a dog on defense, you draft yourself Joey Porter Jr. I tell you what, if we draft ourselves Joey Porter Jr., we did good. Okay, that's a good draft pick, right? But anyway, trying to wrap this up. But I don't commingle. So basically, whatever I put on the page, the Facebook page, I don't put in the group, and the same thing, group and the page. So if you go to the page, okay, and you like and follow it, and you go to the group and become a member, between the two of them, okay, you get a ton of Giants information, right? Stats and videos and pictures of every day. And, what do you got to lose? It's free of charge. And as I said, if you're not satisfied, you get your money. You get your money back guarantee, right? So what do you got to lose? Seriously, you get a ton of Giant stuff every day. All right. So with all that stuff said and done out of the way, I just saw this recently. It was pretty cool. How Daniel Jones, right? He just changed. I mean, he's had the same. Let's see. Already seems to be in the midst of a change. There was a few articles. I did pull this one up from the New York Post. As he enters negotiations with the Giants for a long-term deal, the 25-year-old quarterback is changing agents, the Post confirmed, New York Post. Representing the Creative Artist Agency, CAA, since he was drafted 6th overall in the 2019 draft, Jones is expected now to join Athletes First. According to ESPN, they're the ones who, reported it first. Athletes First previously negotiated the largest deal in NFL history at the time, 5 different times. Okay, obviously with including quarterbacks Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott. Okay, so Daniel Jones, right? He's kind of hoping that they'll do the same for him, right? Obviously, the Giants didn't pick up his fifth-year option, which would have been 22.5, 22.4, $22.5 million. Obviously, once again, you look back at it and it's like, man, they should have picked that up, man. The thing is, no. See, with that, that's all guaranteed money, okay? And the thing is that it's like, no. You can kind of look at it like, right, if they picked it up, they would have saved themselves some money. But also possibly might have cost them some money. Now, let me explain here. Like how Dak Prescott and all, he was on the franchise tag, I believe, a couple of times, and he just kept pushing the chips in the middle of the table. All the chips, he's betting on himself, all in the middle of the table. I'm betting on myself. Now, if the Giants got that fifth-year option, I picked it up for, let's just say 20, I think it was 22.4, 22.5. Please forgive my stupidity. I don't remember exactly what it is, but for next year, okay, then if all the chips in the middle of the table, let's say he has Giants, maybe add a little something to that offensive line, okay. Just say supposedly they get a nice little weapon in the draft or something like that. Give them another target, maybe Wan'Dale Robinson stays healthy. I know there's a lot of ifs. Add somebody in the draft, okay, maybe in the second round or something. Wan'Dale Robinson comes back. Bellinger improves maybe a little bit, okay, right? Hodgins gets even better. Maybe Colin Johnson this year can stay healthy, right? So we add some weapons to him and also say he does even better, okay? Well, if the Giants sign for, say, $37 million this year, okay, for, 5 years, just say. Well, what happens if he balls out next year? Say he's just saying. Say he goes like for 25 and whatever. Say he throws a couple more interceptions, but 25 and 7 or something like that. Takes a step up, right? Say basically, he does well in the running game, but now he gets even better. Say like each year his passing percentage, completion percentage seems to get better and better and better and better. Okay. Now a lot of his passes were short passes. Okay, don't get me wrong there. But we also didn't take a lot of deep shots down the field. So his passing completion can maybe stay the same or maybe drop a little bit, but also you can maybe see where his yards might get better, okay, greater. But also say he gets some more touchdown passes. Well, if they signed him this year, it might only cost him $37 million a year. If he pushes the chips in the middle of the table and he really does really well next year, okay, well, instead of $37 million, which it might be this year, it might be $42 next year. So it would cost him $37 million a year for 5 years. Just throwing numbers out there. That's all I'm doing. Okay. Well, next year, okay, it might cost him $42 for 5 years. So now that's going to cost him an extra $25 million. All right. Instead of 37 for 5, it's going to cost him 42 for 5 if he balls out. Okay. Well, so instead of them, if they had the franchise tag or the fifth-year option, I'm sorry, for 22.5. Well, then they're paying him 37 this year. So they're paying him this year, next year, like say $15 million. Well, if they sign, so it might cost them more money in the long run because instead of the fifth-year option being 22, and then next year they might have to sign up for 42, right? That would actually, in the long run, actually cost them more money. So it kind of goes both ways, but it looks like he's trying to get serious, okay, about switching agents. I mean, can't blame the guy, right? Can't blame the guy at all. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see, the length of the contract. Okay, obviously, how much guaranteed money is there and what it is. Is it, 37, 35, 37? Does he get 38 or whatever it is? Is it basically, a lot of incentives in there, right? To boost it up, so he'll get 37 million a year, but he's got to whatever. He's got to throw for 3,000 yards. He's got to throw for at least 20 touchdowns. He's got to do this. He's got to do, some incentives in there to boost it up. So, if he doesn't reach some of those incentives, obviously the amount that the Giants got to pay him comes down. But now they got, obviously there's 3 different tags they can put on him. Okay. One is the exclusive franchise tag, right? Which they have until they can put on him from February 21st to March 7th. They got those 2 weeks there, basically, to put the exclusive franchise tag on him. Okay, and once they put the exclusive franchise tag on him, that's it. They can't put it on somebody else. Okay, it's one and done, baby, right? But that also gives them some time. That gives them till 4 p.m. on July 15th to come up with some type of a long-term deal. Okay, and then they can rip up that franchise tag, the exclusive franchise tag, and then they start working on a long-term deal. Okay, now there's also the non-exclusive tag. Okay, which, let's say, that's one of, if the player signs one of these offers, he can go out and negotiate with another team. Okay, and say somebody offers him 40, just throwing a number out there once again. Well, he can come back and the Giants can offer, match that. Say the Redskins offer him 40. Okay, just saying. He comes back to the Giants. Hey, the Redskins offer me 40. Right? The Giants have the option of offering that to him. But once again, this is on the non-exclusive tag. Okay, but if the Giants decline that, okay, then what happens is that the Daniel Jones can leave and go play for the Washington Commanders. I'm so used to saying football team and Redskins and all that. He can play for the Commanders, okay, but the Commanders now have to give up 2 first-round picks, right? So that in one respect, okay, is nice because the problem is you're going to get two first-round picks, which is fantastic, but now you're going to need to find yourself a quarterback, which is not fantastic. There's also another tag which doesn't get used that much. Okay, it's winds up calling what's this one? I think it's the non-exclusive franchise tag. No. Well, let's say the transition tag. I'm sorry, it's less expensive, okay, than the other 2. Okay, but there's really not much security in it. Okay. Let's say, okay, the original club, okay, so it's cheaper, the transition tag, okay, to put on the quarterback, but the original club gets the right to match any offer sheet the player signs, okay, but this is the problem, okay, if say the Redskins offer him 40, okay, if the Giants decline to match the Commanders' offer of 40, he just signs with them. They get no compensation. Okay. So, but it winds up being also, it's cheaper. So if nobody matches them, right? Nobody offers them anything like that. The Giants get them for a cheaper price. So there's 3 different tags. It'd be interesting to see if the Giants wind up using one of them. Okay. As I said, because, it also can be like a kind of like a placeholder, I guess, to hold the guy for a period of time. Because they can wind up working out a nice lengthy contract for him. They have till middle of July to work out some type of a deal. If they can't by July 15th, then the tag takes over. It's fully guaranteed 32.4, whatever it is. That's what he's playing on for this year. If they can't work out a contract by July 15th, okay. And then he works on the rest of the season. He's on the tag, 32.4, fully guaranteed. Okay, they can tag him again the following season too. But I believe if they do the same thing with tag him once again, I think the price goes up quite a bit. So if they just keep tagging him, it's going to get expensive. They just keep tagging him. Yeah, that's cool. It's going to get expensive for him. Okay, so it might be better off, to try to get him signed. But at least Daniel Jones looks like he's really trying to, step up his game and change his agents and all. So hopefully he'll try to get the most bang for the buck for him. And that's good for him. Yeah, obviously, you want all the guys to get paid. Daniel Jones has done he had the most stunning numbers. Do we have a ton of Super Bowl victories thanks to Daniel Jones? Nope. But as he worked his tail off, everything you hear, guys in there, first guy in there, last guy to leave at the end of the day, every day, right? So he's the professional's professional. He takes the job seriously. He does basically, when you look at him, he does everything he can do to make himself the best player, teammate, whatever, the best Daniel Jones he can be. Right? And that's all you can ask. Is he ever going to be maybe a Josh Allen with his cannon arm, or is he ever going to be a Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady? Nope. But no, he's doing all he can do, right? And if he winds up signing for 37 or so, I was also hearing on Boomer Esiason's show, he was talking about, that would, if he signs for, like, say, 37, he would be like, I believe it would be like the 9th highest quarterback, right? Which is maybe a little high. Maybe, some people want to argue about that. But once you start thinking with Jalen Hurts, Herbert, right, Burrow, you got some of these guys coming up that are going to start, Lamar Jackson. I mean, he hasn't been signed either, right? So you got a lot of these guys coming up that are going to start, coming up for a second contract or a contract extension or whatever, right? And they're going to start reset. I mean, Joe Burrow, I don't know what Burrow's going to get. He's going to boom, blow that baby out of the water. He's over 50, right? I mean, Hurts could be close to 50, if not 50. Jackson wants 50. I don't know, Herbert might get, but I mean, so now all of a sudden, instead of Daniel Jones, after those guys reset the market, right? Now you got Daniel Jones is going to go from the 9th highest down to the 13th or 14th or so. Okay, so now he'll be right in the middle of the pack. So, I mean, after those guys sign, Daniel Jones will be in the middle of the pack at like $37 million a year. I'm just throwing a number out there, right? And you can't be too bummed out about that. Daniel Jones is getting paid as a middle of the pack quarterback, so you can't be too complained about that, right? Then I also saw you keep seeing these all the time. You keep seeing the running backs and the Super Bowls and how much the running backs are making going to the Super Bowl and the winning Super Bowl. It's just, you don't need to spend a lot of money. I mean, I'd hate to see Saquon, because Saquon, to me, he's a weapon. Boom. Plain and simple. He's a weapon. And I'd hate to see a weapon leave, right? But I mean, the truth of the matter is, as I said, I want to sign him. I love this. I know some people don't want to, you don't need to spend $14 million. You see a lot of things, right? Emmitt Smith said they'd be crazy to let him go. Other people say they'd be crazy to let him go. I don't want to say they're crazy, but I would. It's more than just a running back. He represents a lot more than just a running back. All right, he represents the franchise. He represents the team. He's a captain. He's a leader. He's a vocal leader, right? He's somebody you want on the team, on the sideline, in the locker room, right? He's, so he's associated with the organization, right? He's more. I mean, some things you just I get it. It's a business and blah, 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 all that stuff. I get it, but some things you just can't put a price tag on, right? And what Saquon Barkley, has to offer, you can't put a price tag on it, right? So I mean, to let him walk instead of paying him $14 million a year, I think would be a mistake. Because I mean, and I get it. I get it. You don't need to pay running back. I get all that stuff, but he's a weapon. Okay, he is a weapon, and you're going to go out and pay some of these, wide receivers $25 or $30 million because maybe they're weapons. Well, we got a weapon in the backfield, right? And if you can get Daniel Jones another weapon out here or so or whatever, and that, now the defenses have to worry about the guy behind Daniel Jones, and they have to worry about a couple guys out over here. That causes problems. Okay. And for $14 million, I think it's worth it. Now you can obviously say and see, possibly agree that, he might have lost a little step because you don't see him, speed wise, right? Breaking it and right. I mean, he had a couple, some nice long runs. Remember that one against I think if I'm correct, it was the Redskins. I think like 80-yarder. I mean, they opened up the hole. He was gone. Nobody caught him. I mean, his first touchdown ever against the Jags, he went into the line, he broke it out wide and just down the sideline. Nobody could catch him. Right. I think Church was trying to cut off the angle as he was trying to, but he couldn't even come close to him. Once Saquon got into the open, he was gone. Now you kind of see where that's maybe not the case anymore. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's what people are talking about. The running backs, they start falling off the cliff or whatever. Your only body can only take so much, right? Some guys, seem to be able to I don't know, weather the time better. I mean, like Jim Brown, he played from 57 to 65 and he retired, and he was just as good as 65 as he was back in the early 60s and all of that. He only missed like half a game in his whole career. And Emmitt Smith played for years and years and years. So some guys can do it. Most guys can't, right? So, I mean, but you can certainly see with the explosiveness, the moves and all that. I mean, how many times this year did he get out, out wide or whatever like that, and he's one-on-one with the cornerback, and he put a couple moves on, and the cornerback's like going one way, his jock strap's going the other way, and Saquon's off and running. I mean, he's still got it. He's still got some moves, right? And does he have the top end speed? No, but I mean, he's a weapon, and I'd really hate to see the Giants get rid of him. But I mean, you see like these. I mean, where is it? Past Super Bowl, right? I mean, you got we go over to, and it's kind of funny because if you go back 10 years ago, okay, some of the highest paid players, okay, were like the running backs. You go back to 2013, Percy Harvin, right, running back for the Seahawks, was making his base salary was $2.5 million. The year before that, Ray Rice, Mr. Wonderful, was making for the Ravens. Okay, they won the Super Bowl. They beat the 49ers. It was $2 million he was making. The year before that, Ahmad Bradshaw was making $1.5 million when the Giants beat the Patriots after the 2000 Super Bowl 46. But you start looking like, those three guys. Okay, let's say Cam Akers of the Rams in 2021 was making $1.1 million, right? Leonard Fournette of the Buccaneers in 2020 was making $2 million, but Damian Williams was making $1 million for the Chiefs in 2019. He was the leading rusher. Okay. But I mean, it's kind of odd because you go back 10 years from basically now, and the running backs were making more money, right, than they are now. But you got 24. LeGarrette Blount, is hitting like the trifecta here. 2014, LeGarrette Blount, the Patriots, was making $730,000. He was the leading rusher, right, for the winning Patriots. 2015, C.J. Anderson of the Broncos, $585,000. He was making. Who's the leading rusher for the Broncos? Not even $600,000, right? Of course, this is back in 2015. But then LeGarrette Blount, okay, 2016 with the Patriots, 2017 with the Eagles. He was the leading rusher. 2016 with the Patriots, he made $760,000. 2017 with the Eagles, he got a pay raise. He was up to $900,000. Okay, so you figure LeGarrette Blount was not even making $1 million, and he was winning all these Super Bowls, right? So so we're going to try to win a Super Bowl with Saquon, and we're going to pay him $14 or $15 million a year. So it's like, right? Sony Michel for the Patriots, 2018. Okay, when they won, $480,000 he was making, $480. Damian Williams was making $1 million in 2019, right? What we got? And it was a Pacheco, right? Isaiah Pacheco, who's the leading rusher for the Chiefs this year, had a very nice season. 170 carries, 830 yards, 5 touchdowns. Okay, he didn't have much in the receiving game, but he averaged almost 5 yards a carry, 4.9 yards a carry. Okay, but he's not making much money either. So, I mean, it just kind of goes to show you, right? And there's also another thing here, like we got Pierre Thomas of the Saints. They wanted, let's see, if he was making, it was 2009. He was making $460,000. James Starks, 2010, when the Packers beat the Steelers, he was making $320,000. Right? I mean, not a lot of money. So I'm just saying, if you go back, okay, I don't have 2008 when the Steelers and the Cardinals played each other. I don't have 2007. So, but if you go back to 2009, the highest was Percy Harvin, right, for the Seahawks. He was the leading rusher. In 2013, $2.5 million. So you basically go from 2009 to 2022, the highest paid leading running back, okay, on a team, winning teams running back, $2.5 million. $2.5 million. And you know what you can do? I mean, with that, I mean, I've seen stats like the entire payroll, like for the Eagles, what they're paying their players, their running backs, the entire running back, Scott and Sanders, right? I mean, they're paying like a couple $1 million between all of them combined. And Sanders is a free agent, by the way. And so is Scott, I believe. But all their free agents combined are only paying a few $1 million, right? And we're going to be paying Saquon 14 or 15. A lot of people just shaking their head. So it just goes to show you, okay, that, or you got the evidence, right? Evidence presents itself, right? You don't need to pay a running back 14, running back by committee. There's a lot of decent running backs out there coming up in free agency. I'm going to go over a few of the guys in just a minute here. There's supposed to be, I'm going to Dan Deerdorf your asses right here. There's supposed to be a plethora of running backs coming out in the draft. I mean, if you don't take Mr. Robinson, they're not taking Mr. Robinson from Texas, but there's a lot in the first 3 or 4 rounds or so. You can find a good quality running back, in the draft without question. But I'm going to go over some of these guys in the in free agency that the Giants could possibly target. Josh Jacobs, I mean, once again, but the thing is with some of these free agents, okay, they kind of want to say set the mark or whatever, but I mean, Jacobs had a phenomenal season. Okay, he, according to PFF, he was the highest graded running back according to PFF. Right, he graded out, his season grade was a 91.6. 91.6. Okay, they have him projected to make $10 million a year. Okay, so once again, you don't need that. Okay, and according somehow PFF has Saquon's projected salary. Well, I guess they have 1 year $10 million. I guess they think the Giants are going to put a tag on him. They're going to sign a deal with Daniel Jones and they're going to franchise tag Saquon Barkley. I guess that's the only thing I can expect here. A 1 year deal for $10 million. But it says the whole thing's guaranteed. So, I mean, the Raiders may not let Jacobs go, right? I mean, they could tag him as well, too, for $10 million. The same thing with Saquon. The Giants could maybe tag him. Tony Pollard's out there. But once again, he's done a phenomenal job. He'll be 26 soon, okay? So he's still young. But you also start getting to that point where some of these guys start kind of falling off the cliff. Tony Pollard done a phenomenal job for the Cowboys. But it's the same thing here. 1 year, $10 million. They have him here now. The only thing I can think of is that maybe the Cowboys might tag him because the $10 million, that's a franchise tag, right? So that's the only thing I can think of. So that, they're not so much worried about Zeke no more, okay? Because Zeke is starting to get up in wear and tear and age and all that and everything. But so I'm thinking maybe the Cowboys might want to put a tag on Tony Pollard so he doesn't leave. But then you got Miles Sanders, right, who did a phenomenal job with the Eagles this year, right? He had 1,271 rushing yards, 4.9 yards a carry, 11 rushing touchdowns. But let's also not forget, okay, they had a phenomenal offensive line. They have great wide receivers. The wide receivers open, and Jalen Hurts opens up the running game for running backs, okay? If you don't have a running quarterback, you got a poor offensive line, and you got horrible wide receivers, Miles Sanders doesn't stand a chance. Miles Sanders not getting 5 yards a carry. Not happening. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind. But, I mean, Miles Sanders is very decent. David Montgomery, right? Very, very good running back. He doesn't have top-end speed or anything like that, but he's a very, very good running back. Okay, he'll be 26, okay? But they got him at, because once again, this is all I'm going by according to Pro Football Focus. They got him 3 years, $6.5 million a year for David Montgomery. So that would be like half of what you would be paying Saquon, right? And you'd be getting a very good quality running back who's only 25, soon to be 26 years old. There's also, let's see here. Saquon Barkley, Kareem Hunt, Rashad Penny, Jamal Williams, Josh Jacobs, Mark Ingram. I mean, let's not also forget some of these guys also might be getting a Boston Scott. Okay, he is. So the Eagles got Boston Scott, who's will be 28 soon. Okay, he's not a phenomenal running back. I mean, he scores all of his touchdowns against the Giants. How many touchdowns does he have against the rest of the league? Probably one. So don't get too crazy with him. But he's a decent running back. But Miles Sanders, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there. Okay, a lot of guys. Matt Breida too. I mean, he did a decent job. He's 28. He'll be 28 soon. Had a nice season for the Giants in the amount of snaps that he took. He was only making a little over $1 million, right? I mean, that's about what he can expect to get. I mean, the Giants could certainly bring him back. I wouldn't be bummed out if they brought him back, right? But I mean, there are guys out there, okay, who could, replace Saquon. I said, it seems like a lot of them might want him getting tagged. I mean, with Jacobs and Pollard, maybe even Saquon. The thing is, now, do you want to, tag Saquon? I mean, this is where it starts getting a little touch and go there. A little, what I mean, because you don't want to screw with the locker room atmosphere, right? You don't have some, what I mean, because then all of a sudden the players start looking at the coaches a little funny, and maybe somebody like your leader in there, maybe Daniel Jones or Saquon might have a little funny attitude to him, not wanting to play. You franchise tag me for only $10 million. I want 14 or 15. You only give me 10. Do I want to hold out? Do I want to play? Right? Do I want to play and be pissed off? Do I want to hold out and cause a problem? Do I want to screw with the atmosphere in the locker room? It's not easy, right? Well, then again, if you let one of your leaders go, right, that also sets a little atmosphere, and the guys know it's it's a business. Unfortunately, it's a beautiful game. The shame of it is the longer we go in time, the more and more of a business it gets to be. And for me, it takes more and more fun out of it. Because I grew up in the 70s, the guys weren't getting paid as much, but a lot of the guys just played for the love of the game, right? I mean, you want to see the guys get paid and all and everything, but for me, the more of a business it becomes, the less fun and less enjoyable it gets to be. But I mean, the guys know it's a business. But I mean, if you got one of your leaders, okay, and you only miss out on say he wants 16 and you only want to give him 12, well, can you work something out where you bring one of your leaders, meet him in the middle, where you bring one of your leaders back, so you get the locker room going again, because the dude's New York, right? He's the face of the frame. I mean, Daniel Jones, but you go overseas, right? You go overseas, okay? Or you go someplace else, some other part of the country or whatever like that. Who do people want to see, right? Who do they want an autograph from? They want it from Saquon, or they want it from Daniel Jones? Saquon. Saquon's the man, right? He's the face of the organization, right? Right. They said he's a leader. Right. Yeah. It'd be a shame just to let him go, especially, I mean, if they were like, $10 million apart or something like that, I could say, yeah. But I mean, I would really love to see him get something done. I mean, I totally understand if they let him walk. Once again, it's a business. It is what it is. But I mean, if they can somehow work it out with Saquon, I would really, because I mean, you're keeping another piece of the puzzle on the team, right? You got Bellinger, right? Hodgins. Maybe get Colin Johnson, Bellinger, Wan'Dale Robinson, right? Saquon. So you got pieces here. Let's add another little piece of the puzzle this year in the draft, right? Maybe next year we add another little piece of the puzzle. Maybe somewhere along the line we can, maybe get a number one in here. Okay. Let's not forget the Giants, started making some nice leaps and bounds when they got Plexico Burress in here, right? Back in the 2005, I believe it was. So they started, taking off, right? Because you had the backfield, had Amani Toomer and Shockey, but now you got Plexico on the other side. Add another little piece of the puzzle, made the offense a lot better, right? So I mean, if we can hold some of the pieces together and keep adding a little piece, and a little piece, as I said, once again, it's a process. We're building a team. It's not like, boom, the team's all together in 2023. We're going to win the next 10 Super Bowls. It's not, it's always a building process. But, I mean, if each year you can keep adding to it, keep the guys you got, keep the guys you drafted, develop them, make them better, keep them, resign them, okay, and just keep adding to it. I know it's a lot easier said than done. I think the Giants can certainly, do good. Without question. I said I would love to see Saquon back as a Giant. Sign him for 3-4 years, right? And then just take it for what it's worth after that. But I mean, I would, I mean, it seems like they're close. I mean, you got maybe the Giants are offering 12, Saquon wants 16. Can they meet in the middle someplace, right? I mean, to keep a weapon on the team, okay, for $14 million. I think it's well worth it, but I'm not the one writing the checks. Well, guys, it's been 40 minutes. Somebody gave me a thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If anybody spent any time at all, once again, watching this, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Or if anybody spends any time watching a replay of this, once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It means the world to me, guys. It really does. Thank you. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!